Jesus and Buddha were both spontaneous healers.
Yeah.
And as you, the students, were learning Reiki now and being attuned to that energy, that you were going to have those same healing abilities.
Yeah.
It's the same energy moving through all of us. It's the same universal divine energy that was harnessed by Jesus, that was harnessed by Buddha, and that it's really our belief in what we are able to do as far as being vessels for healing. But why couldn't any of us give spontaneous healings? And
Wow.
I am not comparing myself to Jesus or
I
Buddha.
get it.
But it was making that analogy.
Hey guys, this is your girl Akia. Welcome to Authentically Akia. And today we are going to have a very, very deep conversation. It's very personal for me, and it's going to be an honest conversation. I think a lot of people need it right now with where the world is and everything that's happening. But today we're going to be talking about religion, and we're going to be talking about Reiki. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy. Today, we've got Chris Pinkerton. We like to lovingly refer to each other as Pink. And I'm Red, right?
Right. Yes, love it.
And that has a lot of significance for us, especially like for the nature of this conversation, right? So before we hop into like the interview, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So my name is Chris Pinkerton, and I am a Reiki master teacher. So that means I see clients individually for Reiki energy healing sessions. I teach workshops, I lead retreats, all kinds of things with the basis of healing and living with intention.
Which is why the pink and red is so significant, right? Because you're my Reiki master. There's no hiding that. I know you don't like to be called that. You started as like just a practitioner for me, right? Like I was coming to you to see you, and then I said, okay, I got to learn more. I got to know more. And so then I took your level 1, and then I said, oh, I really got to learn more. And then I decided to take level 2. And then we became friends.
Yeah. And that's been honestly like the best part, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Reiki does build community with people.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
Relationships with people. And also, as I've moved through my Reiki practice, like attracts like. So, the clients that come to me have experienced or experiencing some of the same things that I've gone through in my life.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So we had a lot in common.
we really did. And when you started teaching me about Reiki, we walked through the chakra system. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get too much into like where we're going to go. But I want them to know the significance of like why we do the pink and the red
pink
thing.
And the red, yes.
You're right. And so the chakra system, and there are colors assigned to the different chakras in our bodies. And so the pink refers to
heart chakra.
Yes.
So heart can be denoted by pink or green, either or. It's probably most commonly pink.
Yep.
And red is
the root chakra.
That's right.
Yeah. Nice try to test me. I see what you did there.
She was like, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's of course. I mean, and it's cool because I've even gotten into like some of the coaching stuff. Like I named the whole coaching thing after the root chakra rooted with red, right? Which, just kind of was like a natural progression, if you will. But this conversation is really important to me. I think really because, first of all, I wanted everybody to know, like Reiki saved my life, one of the many tools, right? But it was very instrumental, I think,
I just got chills when you said that because I feel the same way for myself.
Yeah. I mean, it's no, you don't have to apologize. It's like, that's a real honest reaction to that. Like it's saved my life. Like, and so, I'm releasing this book July 7th, which
is amazing.
I'm nerve sighted about it. Right?
What did you say?
I'm nerve sighted. So nervous and excited mix.
Yes.
But, it's called Divorcing Religion, Finding God. And and you've read it.
Yes.
And part of that book is, I talk about like healing modalities, and I talk about Reiki, and as one of the things that like I learned about, but then also that was used to like heal me and get me connected back to my body. So I think I would ask you to start after reading the book. For you, what stood out the most about the relationship between religion and healing?
I think what stood out to me the most, first of all, it's amazing. I'm
Thank you.
so excited for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you to release this book. I think it's really important and it's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you.
So I think the biggest thing about religion and healing is that there's no one size fits all.
Yeah.
There's no, this is what worked for me, therefore it's always going to work for you.
Yeah.
I think that people can still be very steeped and have a relationship with their religion, and they don't have to step away from it for healing.
Yep.
I think when we were talking earlier, it's not an either or. It
Yeah.
can be both.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not a one size fits all. It can look very differently for
Yeah.
people. What I've experienced, like I said, may not be the same for you.
Yeah.
But that it's okay. And so there's different ways that we can all experience both.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. And it's so interesting because like part of deconstructing for me looked very gray. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
And gray is very like black and white, and you mix the two and that's what makes the gray, right? And it becomes very this like ambiguity is like very unsettling.
Yes.
And then once you get further like in your healing journey, and this is just how I'm interpreting what you just said, is that it not only becomes like a both and, it's like all the things. Like you realize that as you heal, that there are all of these options that are available to you.
Right.
And like I'm sure you probably have found that in your healing journey, would you say?
Yeah. And what resonates for me, maybe not for you, right? But we have so many things available to us.
Yeah.
And they're not to be feared.
Yeah.
They're here for a reason, and they're to be utilized for our highest good.
Yeah.
And we get to decide what that looks like.
So speaking of, you brought me stone.
I did, and I have this same one. I mean, different size, but
Yeah.
yes, it's a labradorite crystal.
Yeah. So this is one of the things, right? This is one of the things that, I know that you believe in firmly, is like it carries healing energy.
They
These
do. They're high
stones.
vibration. They have different healing properties to them.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of like go what you're drawn to.
Yeah.
But this one specifically is for transformation.
Yes.
And healing and
Yes.
intuition. Third eye, as we'll talk about probably. But, I feel like your book and what you're doing right now
Yeah.
and what you're going through and what you've been going through is a huge transformation.
Yeah.
And it's like a culmination with this book being released.
No, I mean,
Right?
that's exactly how I describe it to people. I'm like, I don't know, we've been knowing each other for like 2 years.
Has it been 2?
Yeah, it's been 2 years. I mean, I started coming to you like when I first started the process of writing the book.
Yes.
And it was like
remember
this, Pandora's box of like this religious stuff that like I didn't want to open, this box until like I told you I came to you and I experienced like a death of someone, and it kind of just opened up like, man, maybe you need to, explore this, because like all these old kind of things came up for me. And so for me, I think the biggest thing is I want people to know that Reiki is not an energy healing in general is not something that you need to be afraid of, right?
Right. Absolutely not.
I guess my question for you is, what do you think is one of the things that people misunderstand outside of traditional like religion? Like, what do they misunderstand about Reiki and other energetic healing work?
Yeah. So I can speak for Reiki. I can't speak to all the modalities, obviously,
Yeah.
but Reiki specifically is not meant to follow any religion. It's not meant to follow any dogma. There's no like human belief system attached to it.
Yeah.
Right. So I consider it spiritual practice, just like anyone would like go to yoga
Yeah.
or do meditation, right? Those are all things that are practices that we do that are spiritual in nature, but there's no religion attached to them. And it's the same thing with Reiki. So
I love that.
yes. So it's nothing to be feared. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's super gentle and soothing, which we'll talk about. But yeah. I love it.
Well, since we're leading there or whatever, why don't you tell us a little bit about like your journey, how you, I guess, came to know Reiki, and then kind of get into like, you know, your work and all of that.
So I found Reiki, or maybe I should say Reiki found me, right?
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way. At a time in my life where I was struggling. I was going through a lot. I had had a few deaths in my family, I think you and I talked about. And then I had been dealing with a lifelong anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I had been medicated. I had been in and out of talk therapy, and I was still just struggling, just not feeling good.
Yeah.
I, at the time, had young kids, you know, working, all the things, and just trying to push through life. And I guess not dealing with things, right? Like maybe I thought I was, but I was just still really having a hard time. So a friend of mine had experienced Reiki herself and suggested that I incorporate that into what I was doing. And I'm like, okay, I'm up for anything.
Sure.
I'm like, okay.
You're like, why not?
If it's going to help me,
the things.
give
if
me
it's
all
gonna
the
help me. Like,
yes.
Why not?
Yes. I'm up for anything basically. So I said, okay. So I truly had no understanding of what Reiki was.
Was there
what I
any
was gonna
hesitation?
experience. Not really. And I feel like, I don't know, I guess I was just in a place of like desperation.
Yeah, I was going to
Just
say
like,
desperation.
I need something to help me feel better.
Yeah.
So I went in, I didn't really know what to experience. And the first session that I had a huge release. I tell my new clients this all the time because I like ugly cried, right?
Yeah.
Like huge release, just like overwhelming emotion came out. And I thought, oh my gosh, wow, okay. Kind of surprised me, but then I felt a lot better, like relief afterwards, right? And then I went again, probably about a month later, had the same kind of reaction, like ugly crying, you know? And so at that point I'm like, okay, is this what Reiki is? Like I'm gonna have this minor breakdown every time I'm here. And my Reiki master just explained, no, you just have a lot that has been pushed down, right? You have a lot of trauma in your background. You've not resolved it. You've not, you know, it needs to come out. It needs to come out of the body. This is how it happens, through tears. You're releasing, you know, allow it to release. Don't block it. Don't hold it in. You know, all the things that I tell my clients now. And I just was like, okay, I'm going to keep going and just see what happens.
Do you think that kind of release is pretty common to somebody who is new to Reiki and has a lot of trauma?
It definitely can be.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are other forms of release that you've seen?
Some people will laugh. Some people might have movement in their body. You know, they're laying on a massage table for a regular session. I also do like mini sessions where people are seated, but there could be movement in the body, or the head moves, or, you know, they need to move a limb or something like that. But I would say most common is tears, right?
Yeah.
And it's an emotional release, and it's helping us remove negative emotion, negative energy, trauma that's been stuck.
Yeah.
It's moving through the body and releasing.
What's really interesting, you talking about this is actually reminding me of like my first couple of sessions with you. So like the first session that I had, I remember just being super, super tired.
Yes.
And I think you told me, you said, don't be surprised if you are just like so tired, like when we're done. I came home, I think that day, and probably took a 2 to 3 hour nap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, have you heard that from your clients, or they just are like exhausted and they just want to sleep?
Yes, all of the above. And sometimes clients get so relaxed in session, they fall asleep.
Well,
so I think you've
that
fallen
too.
asleep in session.
For sure, snored. Like
Yeah.
woke myself up like, oh.
and that's to be expected.
That's to be
right?
expected,
like
right?
we don't allow ourselves enough time for relaxation and for
Yeah.
rest and rejuvenating. Like all those things are so important. So yes, first of all, people can fall asleep during a session because it's activating that relaxation response in the body.
Yep.
If you are sleep deprived, obviously you need the sleep, but also yes, afterwards, because again, we're removing like heavier, denser energy. If you're having any releases, again, that's cathartic, right, within
Right.
itself. So we need the extra rest, sometimes napping, sometimes going to bed early. It's always something I talk to clients about, but also, we need to just allow ourselves that rest. And I always say after Reiki sessions to try to have a gentle day if you can, right? To not have a packed day of like lots of activities, again, because your body's kind of like exhaling, right?
Yeah.
And you want to give yourself that space and that it's okay to rest and that we need to rest and that, it's not selfish, it's not self-indulgent, like we need that time. So
yeah, it was, I remember there was also like a couple sessions that I had with you where like you were, because I'm transparently, right? I mean, I don't mind sharing this. Like in some of my sessions, there's always been a lot of activity, like sacrals are always pretty hectic for me. Heart chakra is usually, interesting in our sessions. But in the beginning, it was the throat.
yes.
The throat chakra was there was always like something, a blockage, going on in that area. And the way that you explained it to me, it resonated deeply because it was more so about my voice being suppressed for all of these years. And now like I was starting to come into like my full expression, like of myself.
Right.
And I just remember when you would be like hovering, like, because I don't think people understand, like, for me, like, let's get into this real quick. Let's back up for a second. Like, so it's so interesting because like, I was always taught that like Reiki was demonic, right? So
yes.
the scripture that was used for me was like, lay hands on no man suddenly or whatever. And it was, by the way, it's like, where is that even at? And number two, that is so far out of context. Because if you actually learned what Reiki really is, like, you're not even touching me.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You
I mean, you can.
Like gently, yes.
Right, but it's not. And so that there was like this idea that there was this transference of like spirits. And I'm like,
oh, okay, yes.
Yeah. So which made me a little hesitant. So like when I went in and you were like, over my throat, I remember feeling like this tickle, like, and I remember telling you like, Chris, like, I feel like a little like, and you were like, yeah, it's like normal.
It's clearing. Yeah. It's clearing out.
Clearing out. Exactly. And I think you've told me before that that's pretty common.
Yeah. Some people will have to cough, clear their throat. Sometimes we need to stop and get them some water just to, yes.
Yeah.
Or you can feel like that drainage feeling.
Yeah.
Or anything like ear, nose, throat related, allergy related, that's all throat chakra. So yes, when we are starting to like open that chakra, use our voice, speak our truth, or speaking or writing, right? So journaling, which I know you do quite a bit of.
Yeah.
All those things that help you express, right? And use your voice, basically. But when we're starting to open it up, you can start to have issues there, cough, or even like get a sore throat, right?
Yeah.
Especially if things are clearing and you're like up leveling energetically is what I always say. Like you might get a sore throat. You might get a little cold.
I remember you saying that, I think, at the end of our Reiki training level 1. Mm-hmm. You were telling me and like the other participants that were in there with me that when you're up leveling, your energy, that you could get like a little bit like immunocompromised.
Right.
And
right. Yes.
Because I guess there's something that's happening energetically, right?
Right. Your energy's shifting, and also chakras are getting cleared out and things
Yeah.
are, you know, being released and removed. So
Yeah, that was like
absolutely.
the greatest, I will tell you, like the most eye-opening time for me. And I still have my notes like downstairs in my office. Like I have a whole journal that's like committed to like everything that I learned when I was sitting in your classes. And because one thing about me is like, once I know that something has worked for me, like I want to be able to journal it so that I can talk about it and also like share it with the world, because like so many other people like share similar experiences like I do, where they've been raised in religion
Yes.
that teaches them to fear
Yes.
these other modalities that have been here far longer than even Christianity, to be quite honest. And one of the things that, you know, again, that and I'll reiterate, that was scary to me was like just getting someone else's energy transferred onto me. But then you explained it in level one when you talked to me and the rest of the class about there was an example you used about Jesus and Reiki. And I just was wondering if you would be willing to like share a little bit of that.
Sure. Well, first of all, I have to kind of go back and think like, what brought you through my door also? With having the religious trauma that you have and having, you know, that fear of what's going to happen to me in this session. How did you get over that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I tell people all the time, I'm like, you know, Dr. Sherry Campbell is like a big sister from afar, and she is like the queen of estrangement, and she's helped guide me through all of that stuff. But then she says, this is very quotable. She says, I have never done a brave thing bravely. And I resonate with that so much. So basically, like I was scared, excuse my French, shitless to walk through your door, because I absolutely had no idea what was going to happen. I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't know what I was going to experience. I didn't know if I was going to run the other way, like once I came in there. But I think what made me do it is like, one, I was doing research for this book. And I was like, and I swear to you, and this is where I believe so hardcore in like, I call them God winks, divine moments, nudges from my angels, spirit guides, right? We talk about this all the time.
Yes.
Where the universe like literally just gives you a little push to let you know that you're in the right direction. I literally woke up one day. I had no idea what the heck a chakra was. And all of a sudden, the words heart chakra popped in my little head.
Really?
Really? I never told you this story?
Did not tell me
Oh,
this.
wow. Okay. See, this real time, folks. This is her getting this like, so this is what led me to you. Okay. Okay. So literally heart chakra pops in my little head and I'm like, what the heck? Heart chakra.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like thinking, you know, like, listen, I'm all into like, you know, the signs, and like, I'm a Gemini, and I'm, you know, and so like, we're like pretty smart creatures,
Right.
you know, like we're always thinking. And so I'm like, did I hear it from somewhere? And
Had you started yoga yet? Had you started yoga?
I started, but like nobody had ever talked to me about it.
You didn't talk about
like
it.
I was like a casual yoga
Right.
person, like not the yogi that I am now. No, no, seriously. Like I was very like, I was just getting more consistent with my yoga practice.
Okay.
So it was like, I hadn't heard of it,
Right.
period.
Yeah.
So I literally am like, okay, it keeps popping into my every single day. I can't get it off my mind. So I just go to like text the woman that used to be married to the preacher that I said passed away, that kind of made me start thinking about healing my relationship to like my trauma and stuff
Right.
with religion. And I said, hey, I said, what is a heart chakra? And she's just like, random, but like a heart chakra is just like a place, you know, it's like an energy work, you know, that it's like your place in your
energy
heart and
center,
whatever.
yeah.
And like, you just look it up. And I said, well, I Googled and it says something about Reiki. And she says, yeah, all Reiki is like, you know, energy and she was trying to explain it to me, but she's like, just look it up. So I dove a little further, so more than just a toe. Like I kind of put the whole foot and then the ankle in there. And so like I'm researching it and I'm like, and then I started seeing the connection between the certain parts of your body and those chakras. And I was like, I probably need to go get that worked on.
I need that heart worked on.
I was like, I probably need to go get this like heart chakra worked on. I was like, I don't want to end up with anything close to like where this heart is. Like literally, that was what it was. It was like, it was my health anxiety really. Like, cause I have really bad health anxiety stuff. So I was just like, I don't want those health issues. Let me go get this worked on. So I am having coffee with a gal. And she had no idea. This is what I'm saying. The universe lines everything up.
Oh, yeah.
She had no idea. And so like, I'm like, yeah, like I've been kind of thinking about Reiki. She's like, oh my God, I got the most perfect person. Her name is Christine Pinkerton. I'm like, okay, cool. I reached out to you. And that was what got me to your door.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, that's what got me to you. And then I got to you. And I'm like, go through my first session. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't bad at all, actually.
You didn't run out.
I didn't run out.
You didn't run out of the, yeah.
I didn't feel like I was demon possessed, everything was A-okay. And I came back. And I came back again. And I saw you faithfully every week for months straight. And then I said, I got to learn more about this because I got to write this in my book. And this is not what people think it is.
No.
This is not evil. And you told a story in level 1 about Jesus.
Yes.
And the story, I guess there was a parable about like the woman did she touch him? The hem of his garment or?
We were talking more just about energy healing in general and talking about how Jesus and Buddha were both spontaneous healers.
Yeah.
And the founder of our method that I teach, Sui method,
Yes.
which is a very traditional method of Reiki, was fascinated by Jesus and Buddha both being able to have that
Yes.
ability to heal.
Yes.
And so when we were talking about, it was really like a form of energy healing. It was really an ancient form of Reiki.
Yeah.
And what Reiki is now today, at least the method that I teach. And that we were talking about, as you, the students, were learning Reiki now and being attuned to that energy, that you were going to have those same healing abilities.
Yeah.
It's the same energy moving through all of us. It's the same universal divine energy that was harnessed by Jesus, that was harnessed by Buddha, and that it's really our belief in what we are able to do as far as being vessels for healing. But why couldn't any of us give spontaneous healings? And
Wow.
I am not comparing myself to Jesus or Buddha.
I get it.
But it was making that analogy of, and that's what Master Asui really spent his life work doing, was trying to find out how did these healers harness this healing, and then if they could do it, how can we do it?
How can we do it?
And how can more people learn how to do it?
Yeah.
And be able to spread this throughout the world, and again, not have it be attached to a certain religion. Anybody can learn it. Once you learn it, you have it for life. So it's meant to spread, right, through the world, to be a beautiful, gentle healing modality that everyone can utilize.
Right.
That it's not for just this
specific thing,
specific group or specific set of people. It's meant to be accessible to all, and it's easily learned by all. So, yeah. So I think at that point, I remember you going, "Wait a minute,"
No, it was like a light bulb moment,
right? Because yes, there's divine energy all around us and moving through us, and so right. So what Reiki is doing is, when you are working with a Reiki practitioner like myself or like you, that we are the vessels that energy is moving through to the client. right? So we're
Right.
not
We're not
giving our
yeah,
energy. So there's
exactly.
nothing like, I'm not
Yes.
giving you any of my demons that I've got inside of me. I'm not giving you any of my negative emotion or anything like that, because it's not my energy. It is moving through me.
Yeah.
Like I'm an electrical cord,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, and it's moving through me to you, the client.
You know, it's, oh my God, like, I'm so off track, first of all, on my notes. I just want to like let you know, like but it's fine. Like I'm going to get back on track, but this is, you know, it's so interesting what you're saying to me. I could go a million directions, but I'm going to try to stay focused on this one. You know, I had just made a comment to my husband the other day about, and it was kind of like, you know how you kind of like, you pose a question, but it's like rhetorical, right? There's no answer to it. He and I have a lot of conversations about like higher mind versus like the lower mind, or right, like your conscious versus like, I've been learning a lot about conscious, subconscious, superconscious, right? And just kind of like thinking through all these things. And like, it's interesting because the form of Reiki, right, that you teach, this ancient, beautiful healing modality, how people would rather believe that they are lower than a divine source.
Yes.
Than actually believe that they are capable of carrying that same healing power that divine source carried.
But isn't that taught
to
us? Right?
Yes, which is why this is coming up to me. Yes. For this conversation in particular, is like why I think that a lot of people that are in high control religious systems have such an issue with people getting their heads wrapped around this kind of a healing modality. Because if I can embody it and I can do it myself, then I don't need you.
Correct. That's kind of scary for them, isn't it? Right? So the more of us that are empowered and realize and have that belief and trust in ourselves that we can heal ourselves, that we can help to heal others or get them onto their healing journey, then yes, I mean, you start to find the answers within rather than getting them fed
Bingo.
to you externally.
Yes.
And so yes, the people in power in, you know, especially in religion,
yeah,
they aren't required anymore.
Well, because they can't survive if, I mean, it's a power structure.
Correct. Yes.
Built off of people who pay into it. So then we start getting into, well, how will we survive?
Right.
If nobody is coming and nobody is paying, then how will I live? How will I survive? How will this structure survive? So then it becomes like this fight of how do I keep people dependent?
Absolutely.
Upon me. And I, you know, for me, I mean, like.
So doesn't it seem backwards that this is a group of people
Yes.
preaching about spiritual growth, but they really don't want you to spiritually grow? Because that means that you don't need them.
You don't need them. Which is why, like, you know, God, there's so many different.
I know there's so many layers to
oh
the.
my gosh.
No, there's so many layers to it.
It's so many layers, but it's like, I think, like, for me, since the time I was young, like, I mean, young, like, born and bred to believe, like you're like 4 years old and you're taught like you're dirty, wretched, filthy sinner.
Yes.
You're nothing without Christ. And then you pray this sinner's prayer of being wretched, filthy, nothing.
Which is so horrible. I mean, I'm thinking about your heart chakra right now.
I mean,
like,
that's what so can you imagine?
Those words.
Right? Like,
just those words.
Dirty, filthy.
Yes.
Like, and so I'm like, is there any wonder? I mean, that like people might be listening to this, or they might pick up my book, or they might hear me talking on a reel, right? Like on my Instagram. And they might say, well, this doesn't apply to me because I haven't had any like religious trauma. Oh, hell yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Because if you've been forced to pray a prayer to talk about how wretched, filthy, unworthy, unlovable you are, that in itself, wouldn't you say, is traumatic to
Yes.
your belief system.
Absolutely. Because the more things you say to yourself, the more often, right? Those words, those thoughts become beliefs, right? And the
Correct.
beliefs get ingrained in your body. Absolutely.
So if you're telling yourself, if a child is telling themselves, I'm nothing, wretched, horrible, filthy, unlovable, undeserving. I mean, Chris, is there any wonder why they go and they have so many mental health?
Oh my gosh.
Like, and I'm not talking about actual diagnosable conditions that, you know, need medical treatment. I'm talking about like self-esteem issues.
Self-esteem. Yes.
Self-worth.
Yes.
So when you have people, this is just really curious to me. So like, I don't know how many people you actually talk to, you know, about this when they come and see you, but have you ever had like clients that come in to see you and they've had like religious trauma and they have a really hard time? And when I say religious trauma, I don't mean they come in and say to you, I used to go to a church and this, and this happened to me. I mean, they come in and they say, well, I just don't believe in myself. I just don't feel like I'm worth anything. And then you start getting to the core of it and you realize, well, yeah, like, you know, I've been saved since I was 5 years old, 6 years old, or I've been a part of this church. I've been a part of that church. And because I know for a fact, and I'll let you answer, but I know for a fact that the core of my issues of self-worth have everything to do with what I was taught in religion. That I was nothing outside of like me praying that sinner's prayer. I know that for a fact. And I have talked to other kids that grew up in that charismatic, like culture, you know, that I grew up in, Christian schools, all of that, where they didn't start believing that they were actually good humans until they got away from it. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, what's your experience in you know, in your practice?
Yeah. Well, first, that breaks my heart to have that messaging. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, at such an early age.
Yeah.
How can you not come away with
I'm
trauma,
saying.
with mental health compromises, all those things?
Yeah.
And yeah, just a healthy sense of self and
Yeah.
being able to discern and being able to, you know, like everything gets shut down, right?
Yeah.
So your intuition is shut down, your body wisdom is shut down, probably your internal cues, you know, your gut reactions, right? All those things that we utilize. And I would have to say, I don't really, or people don't, my clients don't speak to me about maybe religious trauma in specific, but we talk
Yeah.
about trauma quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
And so much of it, I really think is, like you said, how you grow up, the environment you're growing up in, the messages you're hearing, the things that are being repeated to you over and over and over. And even if you are a very strong person, you're like, I am worthy, I know that. But when it's repeated so many times,
Yeah.
it's like you're at battle with yourself, right? And
That
so
dissonance.
That, yes, cognitive dissonance, right?
Yes,
Isn't that what
that's
it's
cognitive
called?
dissonance. Yes.
Because you might have that internal knowing like, okay, yes, no, I do matter. I am strong. I am these things. But then you're getting a message from all the important people in your life, you know,
100%.
parents, religious figures, teachers, if you're in a Christian school, it's like that repeated messaging is going to take hold. It's just going to.
Well, and it's like, it's so interesting because a lot of people like that I've talked to, like they live in that dissonance.
Yes.
Where they're like, you know, And again, like, I'm not even specifically talking about, when I say religious trauma, I mean, yes, I've told you, a lot of the things that have happened to me. I've had specific instances that have been traumatic.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
But not everybody that's going to be listening to this or watching this has.
Right.
It may be very, for lack of a better word, benign, where they were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I think at any point in your life, when you're forced to pray a prayer about how worthless you are.
Oh, I mean,
and
that's damaging. No right?
matter
what your age.
And then
that's
every
damaging.
figure in your life, as you said, is enforcing it.
Yes.
Right?
That's a lot to unravel.
And I think I spent the majority of my life, like up until like, the last 10-ish years or so, like I've been kind of like slowly like deconstructing and all those different things. But like, I think just writing this book within the last couple of years really spent the time getting out of that dissonance, because I could never understand why, like, believing in myself or thinking that I was worthy was just not working. I would be like, oh my God, like I'm broken. Like, that's how I felt.
You have that.
I'm broken. And I am not like, I'm not going to be able to like do the whole manifestation thing. It's not going to work for me.
It's not working because I don't have that belief.
Because I don't have that belief system. Deep down.
Down through all those layers.
Yeah.
You don't. Because of these things.
Because of these things that I was being forced to repeat to myself.
Yes.
Which is so wild.
Yes. And I think it's so important that, first of all, you were brought to me being nudged by your heart chakra. But I would have to say heart chakra is probably like the number one area that people need help with, that is blocked or has heavy energy there. And for me, heart chakra has everything to do with love and compassion and all those things, but we think of it like externally first. And I'm always talking to my clients like, it's self first. It is self-love first. And we have to work on doing things to fill in our heart, to pour into ourselves, to love on ourselves because of all of those issues and the things that were taught and programmed through us. So it is like an unraveling and unlearning, but it's also valuing ourselves.
100%.
That we come first. So it is a lot of heart chakra work.
Yeah.
And I know you've done that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loads of it. Really, I think, and one of the things we've kind of touched on it lightly, but I don't want to like go without us like touching on this really important thing about Reiki, and its connection to healing trauma, which is getting connected back to the body. Mm-hmm. Because I've talked to you about this many times, and then just, whether I'm sharing with you about like my own story or just the work that I've been doing, working with people. But when it comes to trauma, right, like, as well as I do, such a broad thing, right? It's also very relative, right? So but regardless, trauma is trauma. And then you have different things, like you have your sexual trauma, you have, which I'm not saying that anything is more than the other. They're all equal. It's just the different places in which we put them. And so for me, I experienced disordered eating and diagnosed eating disorder, body dysmorphia, right? So spent, what am I? I'll be 46. So I have spent 44 years disconnected from this shell here. Which is...
It's daunting when you see that, right? I mean, you go, wow.
Yeah, like literally like 44 years disconnected from this. I just got reconnected when I met you. Truly. And that's the one thing I want to really talk a little bit about. I want to hear you talk about this with us, because Reiki is what I think it does its best work, is getting us reconnected back to the body. Mm-hmm. Because a high number of people that experience sexual abuse and sexual trauma also experience religious trauma
Yes.
also experience eating disorders.
Yes.
And you know, all eating disorders, body dysmorphia, all that is find a way for the body to have control. You just want control. And so any way that you can find it, you're going to try to get it. So talk to me a little bit about Reiki and it getting you connected back to your body.
Yeah. So first of all, I don't think we explained a little bit about Reiki, and that it's gentle touch or no touch energy healing.
Yeah.
When people don't have an understanding of really what it is, I'll usually ask if they're familiar with acupuncture.
Yeah, love that.
And they say yes, and I go, okay, great.
Yeah.
So Reiki's like the kinder, gentler cousin to acupuncture. We don't have needles, but we have hand placements, right? So we're working on opening up those energy centers, the chakras, as you explained, and get everything flowing and moving, because when everything's open, that's when we feel like, exactly, we feel relaxed, we feel centered, we feel peaceful, we feel lighter, all of those things.
Yeah.
So when people have gone through traumas, which many of us have, we get really disconnected from our body, or we get really, we don't listen to the cues anymore that we receive from our body. We don't listen to our intuition because we've had to turn it off. You know, sometimes people have to be in a very heightened state of awareness, hypervigilance, right?
Yep.
And so everything else gets shut down because we're just trying to stay safe, basically, right? You're in survival mode. So it's no wonder that we're not listening to our bodies. We're not listening to the cues anymore. We're not trusting ourselves, right? We're not trusting what's coming through. So with Reiki, which when we're channeling through that divine energy, that universal energy as the practitioner, we again are just the vessel that it's running through to you, but that energy is moving to where those blockages are. And Reiki works on the physical, on the mental, on the emotional and spiritual bodies. So me as the practitioner, I'm not saying, I know there's some trauma stuck over there. The key is, you know,
you're not working your voodoo and your psychic powers.
So that's not happening.
Oh, yes, it did, Chris. Come on.
But that energy is, you know, all-knowing. It's for your highest good. It's love. It's positive. It's flowing where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And it's addressing those areas that need addressed. So sometimes if you have something physical going on, maybe the mental piece needs to be handled first. So that's where the healing goes. So maybe there's like anger. It's
a good point.
But that's got to be brushed away, released before it can get to the physical thing. So with trauma, because there's been such a disconnection to the body, what Reiki is slowly and gently doing is removing all of those negative thoughts, emotions, belief, sometimes physical symptoms, sometimes more like anxiety. For me, it was helping me with my anxiety, my depression, like relieving those kinds of things that are weighing you down and keeping you from being more connected to yourself, being more connected to your intuition and what's coming through. Because how could we not, right? Like, how could we be open and being able to receive when we're trying to like protect ourselves and our body is in protection mode? So Reiki's helping the body come back into balance, basically. It's coming back into a relaxed state. And once you're back into balance and have some equilibrium, then everything else can shift and move. So that's why Reiki can help in so many different areas of life. You know, it helps sometimes with your belief. Maybe first it helps just that heaviness, that physical heaviness you feel in your heart chakra. And then once that's over, and then you're like, oh, I feel freer, or I feel lighter, or I feel like now I'm a little bit more clear, right? It helps
100%.
some of that mental confusion. So Reiki's really assessing the whole soul here that's in front of me, right? Because I love the expression where we are souls that are here having a human experience, not a human with a soul, right? Like,
that's so good.
So that, and I didn't paraphrase it that well, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I get it.
But Reiki is so amazingly helpful because it's supporting the whole soul. Not just the physical. Not just the emotional. All of it.
Well, and I mean, listen, I have to give you some credit because I mean, I know you sat here and just said to everybody, like, and to me, like, I'm not a psychic and you're not. But I tell you, I have to tell you this, like, you read my mail every single time I come in to like see you. Like, I mean, now we're friends.
Yes.
So, it's kind of like, I just come in yapping. Like just,
Right.
but before we became, as connected as we are, I remember coming into you and you would literally be able to say, what's going on here? Something's here. Or something's, you got a lot going on in your mind. And like, you didn't know what I had just experienced. And, and I would tell you after the fact and, what I was going on. And you would literally like, that's what I mean when I say you read my mail. It's like you would be able to speak to the situation. And that's why I love what you just said about how like this divine wisdom, this divine knowing, like it's so much more powerful and it's so real than people even understand.
And we all have it.
Yeah.
We're all made of it.
Yeah.
Go back
Gosh,
to
say that again.
Go back to science. Go back to Einstein and quantum physics.
Yes.
We're all energy. Energy
Yes.
is all there is, right? And we are energy beings. This table is physical matter.
Yeah.
It's just vibrating at a different frequency than like a Reiki energy.
Correct.
But it's all frequency, vibration, you
Yeah.
know. So why not utilize these beautiful modalities that are available to all of us? And it's within all of us.
So beautiful. It's I will say, the whole world opened up to me. Like when I discovered you, when I discovered Reiki, like it opened the door to to all the other modalities that I've tried since. I mean, because like there was a whole year that I like saw you very consistently. And then like I took some time off and then I like went and I like started breath work.
It takes you in very different
directions, all somatic practices.
Yes.
Which is, just getting back into the body.
Into the body. But isn't it interesting because Reiki does help you kind of as you're moving onto your healing journeys.
It does.
Transformation, and it opens so many other doors for you. And I remember you coming in at the beginning of working together. And I think you even said to me, like, I'm going to test you. Or maybe after the fact.
Oh, I did.
You told me, like, okay, I'm going to test you and see, like, what.
It was at the beginning of a session. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm just going to test you. It became a little game that I would play with myself at a certain point. And like, you were always like, you were always like right on target. And I think,
it's all energy.
I mean, it is.
It's all reading of energy and being able to feel kind of what's happening with certain chakras and knowing the questions to ask. And
so for people who don't know, what are the chakras?
The chakras?
Yeah, the chakra system.
Okay, what are they? So those are our, in Reiki, we talk about the 7 chakras.
Yep,
right?
7 chakras.
The energy centers of the body. There's 7 of them. Number 1 is the root, as you described, going all the way up to the crown. And these act like a wheel or a vortex in the body, but they're energy centers. So when our chakras are open, which after Reiki, everything is open, that's when we feel our best. We feel balanced, peaceful, calm, relaxed. When there's a chakra that's closed or it's overactive or underactive, that's when things slow down because all of the chakras are also associated with different parts of the body.
Yep.
I think you mentioned that. And then also our endocrine system. So, if you have a problem with your root chakra, that could be corresponding like physically to issues with like legs and feet, right? Lower body. And then obviously just move your way up the body. We won't go into a huge description.
Yeah.
But if there's an issue with a chakra, then there's going to be either a physical or emotional, mental or spiritual.
It's interesting that you say this because I actually now use the Reiki techniques that we learned on myself. Well, right. Yeah. Like, I mean, I use them all the time, but like, specifically, like when I'm in a yoga class and like we're doing like Shavasana. So like at the beginning of a class and at the end of a class. So at the end when we do the Shavasana or whatever, like I'm always doing like the self Reiki. But even to open up and to start the class, like I'm also like placing my hands usually like hand to heart, hand to belly, and doing some breaths and, just really like, getting myself in alignment. Because that's really, for me, when I started seeing you, that was the word for the year for me, was alignment. Is like everything being in alignment. And I kind of got so used to that feeling. I'm like, damn, that felt good. Like when everything's aligned, when all your chakras are open and like fully like doing what they're supposed to do, like, and you just feel this, I don't know, this kind of like push in the back where you're like able to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Right. Really.
You feel clear.
You feel clear.
You feel calm.
Yes.
And and that's the thing, is that we require maintenance, right? Our chakras require maintenance. So it's not like one and done. So you can be like, oh, everything's open and I'm good, right?
Yeah.
Life happens. And then it's energetic maintenance, right? So obviously that's where Reiki comes in, or other spiritual practices or other healing modalities. But it's just like taking care of your physical body. Yeah. Our energy, our energetic bodies, they need love and care too.
Yeah.
Right?
And you've taught me how to do that. And I'm like forever grateful to you. I mean, really, like I am so thankful to the universe that we connected. This is not the last that they'll see of us. Let's just say, like, I think we've got some, we've got some stuff to do, but, really quickly, just tell everybody where they can find you, and you're going to be overflowing with people.
I love it. Come and find me. Well, my practice in person is located in Columbus, Ohio. They can find me via my website, which is my name. So it's Christine with a CH. ChristinePinkerton.com. That's probably the easiest way to find me. I am on Instagram as C Pink Wellness.
Yep.
But they can also reach out via email on my website. I also do, and some people don't really understand this too about Reiki, is that I do remote sessions as well. So you don't have to be here physically in Columbus, because Reiki is energy, just like we listen to the radio or, turn on our electricity. I'm also able to send Reiki across a distance.
Which is astounding, by the way.
So yeah, it's really fun, because then that doesn't limit where anyone lives. So that looks a little bit different, and I would talk to the client about how to set that up. Also, my practice is inside a wonderful shop called Bohindi.
Love that shop.
We do workshops there. We have a few things coming up as well. So you can kind of check out their website to find me, and follow my friend Red over here. And see what we're up to.
Yeah, we always keep people guessing, right? You never know, like, what's going to come next. So, well, thank you so much for coming and sitting at my table.
I love it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was like my pleasure, honestly.
Heart chakra.
Thank you.
Sure.
Heart, yes. Look, do what the kids do.
Wait, didn't it change? Didn't they change?
I don't know. Did they change? I don't know. Okay, I don't know, guys. Is it like this? I don't know. Anyways. You guys, you heard it here first. This is Akia Red signing off. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, follow, share, or subscribe.